Yeah, I just wanted to talk about community. There's been a lot of things that have happened. 2024 exposed a lot of people. Same way 2020 exposed a lot of marriages. I say all that to say community is important. Now, community doesn't have to be hundreds of people. Community can be a very small circle of people that you can be vulnerable, that you can be transparent with, that care about you personally, that care about you spiritually, that care about you physically, they care about you from a familial sense, like they care about you and your family, and they care about you being successful, however that looks for you.
We gon' keep it rockin' till the break of dawn. Man, we outside looking at the skyline, flowing with the breeze as it flows through the leaves. We just watching time fly.
What up, YouTube? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Soul podcast. This may be a long episode, it may be a short episode. I don't really know. But I wanted to talk to you guys about community. The importance of community. And not just any community, but just a solid community that is not just filled with a bunch of yes men, not just filled with a bunch of people who won't challenge you to be better, won't challenge you and let you know, hey, you tripping, dog. Like, you might want to look at that differently. But just a community of people that care about you and care about your success and care about your family success as well. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about community. There's been a lot of things that have happened. 2024 exposed a lot of people. Same way 2020 exposed a lot of marriages. 2024 exposed a lot of people. 2025, it's already we ain't even finished the month out. It's already got some people either getting exposed or getting ready to get exposed. And it's important to, as a person, as an individual, it's important to have integrity. It's important to mean what you say what you mean, do what you say you're gonna do. It's important to follow through on your word. It's important to be accountable to your word. It's important to be accountable to the word if you're a Christian. But it's also important to have community, because there are seasons in life where we do go through isolation periods, or we go through situations where we might not have access to our community as often as we would like. And it's important to hold fast and hold true to the word if we're Christians. And if we're not Christians, just hold fast to those core values that are inside of us. But specifically with Christians, man, it's a lot of people, unfortunately, that grew up in church, grew up believing in Jesus, believing in God. And one thing I've noticed just with a lot of churches, especially in America, we have a tendency to, especially in the black church, to be very performative. And with being performative, we have a tendency to put a mask on for the show. So we put a mask on for the show. We put a mask on to entertain. We put a mask on when we're in front of people. Whole time in private, whole time when we're by ourselves, we are a completely different person. And it's unfortunate, because sometimes that's a learned behavior, but it's for sure unnecessary. And we need more people of God. As a Christian, I'm a Christian. We need more people of God who are 100% themselves in private as they are in public. And it's unfortunate that some people don't feel safe enough to be that way. And it's unfortunate that some people have learned the behavior of performance and don't know how to break out of that. And I'm not gonna lie, I was there as well. coming up in church and just understanding how to perform and how to do church and how to do different things, how to operate in a specific ministry without giving that vulnerability and that transparency that we should feel comfortable to give as Christians. So I understand from the aspect of not knowing how to break free from that. But by the grace of God, through his power, through his strength, through his perseverance, through therapy, through just going through a lot of different life experiences, I was able to break out of that and get to a place where it's just like, you know what, it doesn't matter what any of these people think, because guess what, there are people as well that struggle with a myriad of different things that I might not even struggle with, and some stuff that I do. But guess what? They're people just like me. They're not perfect. Even if they cast this image of perfection, guess what? That's the perception they want you to think. That's not truly who they are. Nobody's perfect. We all have issues. We all have flaws. We all have weak areas that we want to strengthen and grow. For me, it's self-control and discipline, especially when it comes to working out and eating. I really want to get that under control. But guess what? It's going to take practical steps for me to get that under control and get that situated. But guess what? We working on it. Every day I'm trying to get better. So it's like every day trying to get better in the areas that I'm weak in. Every day trying to tackle a new set of consistency to improve on the weakness that I'm trying to work on. And so I say all that to say community is important. Now, community doesn't have to be hundreds of people. Community can be a very small circle of people that you can be vulnerable, that you can be transparent with, that care about you personally, that care about you spiritually, that care about you physically, that care about you from a familial sense, like they care about you and your family, and they care about you being successful, however that looks for you. I'm not saying you being successful so they could mooch off your money or nothing like that, but you being successful in taking care of your family, being there for your family, raising your kids right, being successful in whatever area of work you're positioned in, being successful in whatever side hustle you got, being successful in just living life. A lot of times, especially in America, we tend to think wealth is the only form of success, and it's just like that's it's not true. It's a lot of different forms of success that we can all achieve, but it depends on how you look at success and what you're looking at with your life. At the end of the day, the fact that you were productive today means you had a successful day. The fact that you got things done and accomplished on your to-do list means you had a successful day. That could result in more money in your pocket, or it could just result in you strengthening some consistency in your routine, strengthening some consistency in your routine, some consistency in your habits, in better habits, and whether it's eating habits, whether it's productive habits, whatever it may be. It's all about what are you doing with the time that you have here on earth. And success can look differently for many different people in many different phases and walks of life. What may be success to you at 20 may not be success to the person at 40. What may be success to the person at 40 may not be success to the person at 60. But it's always important to know your why, what you're doing, and it's always important to have that community that you can be, like I said, vulnerable, transparent. You can lean on them when you're feeling weak. You can share that weakness and that vulnerability, and they can strengthen you, whether with prayer or practical steps or practical help. Because if I need some food, you know what I mean? Because my kids ain't, and I paid all the bills, but I don't have any money to get grocery. prayer helps. However, money to get groceries would help as well. It would probably help even better than just the prayer. So there's practical things that we can do, but when you don't have community, sometimes it feels like you're out here on an island by yourself, walking through life and walking through the trials of life, and it can get very disheartening very fast. And with good community and with good community that cares about you, it's that load and that walk seems a lot easier, and not as stressful. It still may be stressful. It ain't gonna be perfect, but it won't be as stressful and it won't feel as stressful. Because a lot of times we'll go through things in life and it feels like the end of the world till we make it out on the other side and we realize, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought. And sometimes it'd be like, it might have been worse than what I thought. But by the grace of God, I was able to make it through. But community is definitely important, especially when you're looking to just accomplish things in life. Like, it's so many people, especially as Christians and as believers, there's so many people that I've seen lust after positions, whether in the church or whether in a career field, lust after relationships. And I don't mean lust like we just trying to fornicate, but like lusting after, like, oh, I gotta stay with a man, or I gotta stay with a woman, like I gotta have a girl, I gotta have a dude. And it's just like, bro, sometimes you need to learn how to be by yourself. But if you don't have community to hold you accountable to that, or to let you know, like, hey man, I feel you on wanting that relationship, but how about you take some time to work on you? How about you take time to get some therapy? How about you take time to get in your word? How about you take time to, like, really work on the inner workings of your heart? Really see what it is that really see what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life outside of relationship. Because you'll always have time to have a relationship, but you may not always have time to do certain things once you get in a relationship. And that's what they don't always necessarily tell you. It's like, oh yeah, cool, you in a relationship, you married, all right. But now you're two beings becoming one. So now y'all got to get used to each other and come together and see how that looks. See how those two lives melding together looks. And it's just like, that can be an interesting process, especially when you throw in other stresses of life, layoffs, inflation, not having enough bread, trying to make ends meet, kids, like bills. Like, when you start adding outside family stressors, like different relatives, mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, like it can be so many forces that can cause extra stress to your life and cause extra stress to your relationship. It's always important to have that community around you that, like I said, can hold you accountable, can hold you to a higher standard that we all should be calling each other to, and that we all should be lifting one another up in prayer, and, like I said, being able to lean on one another, whether it's in resource, whether it's just in time. Sometimes you just need somebody to sit with you so you can talk. You know what I mean? Like, community is important. Community is a thing that we all need. It's very important. And it's even it says it in the Bible, it's not good for man to be alone. He said it for a reason. He didn't just say that he didn't just say that to Adam so he could create Eve. He said that because he looked at man and realized, hey, he gonna need community. He gonna need community. It's not good for him to be alone. He gonna need some community. And so it's definitely an important thing. Like, even I'm an independent artist. That road can get lonely sometimes, especially when you don't have the networking, you don't have the marketing, you don't have the connections, you're trying to do it all yourself. That road can get super lonely and discouraging and stressful, especially when you married like I am, when you got multiple children. I got 3. You feel me? Like, it and I've been married for like 13 going on 14 years. Well, actually, yeah, 13 going on 14 years. I said that right. But it's like these are things. If your marriage is important to you, if your children are important to you, spending time with them is important to you. Building something with them is important to you. Doing things, achieving certain successes in your life can take a back seat to those things. And it can be very discouraging when you're trying to make strides in a career or in a side hustle or in making music or whatever it is that you want your goals or your careers or your dreams to be, and you're trying to make strides in those things and you feel like you're sacrificing other things. It's great to have that community around you to be like, hey man, have you spent time with your wife this week? Have y'all gone on a date night? Have you spent time with your kids? Have you taken them somewhere? Have y'all spent quality time together? Have you just played Uno with them at the crib? Like, let's have a game night. You can bring everybody over. You know what I mean? Just so y'all can have some time together. And that's what community does. Like, we're there to lean on each other where we're weak. You know what I mean? I might not have it all together or have the organization skills or feel like I have the time to put certain things together, but if I'm in community with a brother who's good with organization, who's good with time management, I might be able to lean on him to get some tools and practical lessons and practical examples on what I can do to better my time management, to better my organization skills, so that way I'm making time for my family and prioritizing that over the success I'm trying to see in my side hustles or in my career. But it's all what matters to you the most. But like I said, community is definitely super important. It's super important, and you definitely want to be in prayer about that community, about finding that good community. That community can sometimes be found in a solid church home, in a solid local church. Sometimes it can be found in different interest groups. Like, I got several different communities I'm a part of now by the grace of God. I got TLS, shout out to TLS. I got my marriage group at church. I got the Bible study crew at church. I got my bros, my homies that we always end up seeming to only get up around my birthday. But we constantly chopping it up, playing games with each other on the PlayStation, you know what I mean? Shout out to Marvel Rivals. But it's like, it's always dope. It's dope and it's important to have that community. My brothers that I play games with, that I get up on my birthday with, we're able to pour into each other when we're weak, and we're able to call on each other when we're struggling. We're able to lean on one another for prayer and for encouragement and motivation. And we might not get up as much as we would like to and as much as we would need to, but we know that it's always love, and we know that we're always there for one another. And by the grace of God, I didn't always have such a good community. Trust me, this took years in different rooms to cultivate. You know what I mean? Especially being an independent artist, being a husband, being a father, being all these different hats and wearing all these different hats. Like, I didn't always have the greatest community. My mother passed away. I had to start brand new. She passed away in 2010. I had to start brand new with the new community. Like, I had the church that I grew up in, and I felt God calling me into a transition up out of there. So I ended up moving to a new church and kind of just spending my free time and my time when I wasn't working, just at the church, helping out as much as I could and just trying to build community there. And through that started rapping, and through that met my wife, and through that, like, it was just God putting me in positions and putting me in different circles to link and gain community with the right people. And there were some wolves in sheep clothing in those different situations. However, there were also good, kind-hearted people that genuinely cared, that genuinely prayed, that I could be vulnerable with, that I could learn and grow from. But you gotta allow the Spirit to help you find those individuals, and not just try to pick the first person that you vibe with. You know what I mean? Because not everybody that you vibe with is necessarily able or ready or even willing to go on this journey called life with you. Sometimes they're just there for a good time. And it's important to know the difference, but it takes discernment and it takes the Spirit of God to see that. So I just wanted to talk about community, man. It's been on my heart heavy lately. Just seeing so many, like I said, 2024, a lot of people got called out. A lot of people got called to the altar in many different ways, in many different altars. But at the same time, 2025, we ain't even a month out. And we ain't even a month into it yet. And there's already some people about to get called out, and some people that already got called out. And prayers to anybody that's going through a tough situation at this particular time, due to either lack of community, or just dealing with anything that's going on right with the fires in California. Just prayers up to all y'all, man. Yeah, prayers up to people who might have lost someone close recently. Definitely got y'all lifted. Definitely prayers to the Lord above for y'all. And yeah, man, community is important. Even with stuff like that, even with like natural disasters, community coming together, making sure everybody has what they need to the best of your ability. Community is important. It's definitely something that we don't talk about often enough. And I just wanted to do just a quick little video about community, man, because it's been on my heart. And as an independent artist, as a husband, as a father, as a Christian, I've seen the importance of community so much. So much in my own life. I've seen what it looks like when I've had community. I've seen what it looks like when I had community and didn't use it. I've seen what it looks like when I turned away from my community and from God. I've seen what it looks like when I found good community. And I've seen what it looks like when I didn't have good community, as far as like I had community, but it wasn't good community. I've seen what all those things look like, and I've seen how God has moved through all of them, and how He's strengthened me through all of them. And by the grace of God, I'm still here. Like I said in a previous episode of the podcast, there was a time when I was a child that I used to pray to see the age of 18. Now I've doubled that. That's only by the grace of God. That's only by the grace of God. And on that note, we're going to end this episode right there. And shout out to y'all for making it to the end. But let me know in the comments below if you gained or were encouraged or were inspired by anything that was said in this podcast, as far as community, as far as just really taking an inventory within your own circle and within your own self to look and find that community where you can genuinely be who you are in private, as well in public. That's at the end of the day, that's my goal. I want to be who I am in private, in public. I'm not trying to front for the hood. I'm not trying to put a mask on to perform in front of cameras or in front of people. I'm genuinely who I am in private as I am in public. I'm an introvert at heart. I'm gonna be an introvert in public. So if it look like I'm by myself and I'm just chilling, trust me. If I'm having a bad time, I'll say that. But I can be by myself in a corner enjoying myself. Pause. But enjoying my time in that corner, chilling. Like I'm an introvert at heart, but by the grace of God, man, I'm trying to show up as authentically as I can every day, and it's as consistently as I can every day in the different areas that I'm trying to strengthen that I'm weak in. Like I said, with self-control and discipline in certain areas, especially eating, especially working out. That's the two things that I really want to get consistent with in 2025. So let me know in the comments below if there's anything you want to get consistent with in 2025. If this video has inspired or encouraged you at all, definitely comment below. I would love to see your responses. Like I said, this channel, we're trying to build community. Yeah, I love comic book stuff. I love watching and reviewing shows. I love reacting to trailers. That's all well and good, but at the end of the day, it's FreeSoul to the soul free. So we're going to do stuff like the Behind the Soul podcast, where we talk about life, faith, family, music, creative process, all of that. So I enjoy doing this. I enjoy having episodes where I get to talk candidly, whether it's about my faith, whether it's about my family, whether it's about my experiences. And that's what you're going to get from this particular podcast. So I appreciate y'all locking in. I appreciate y'all making it to the end. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. If it encouraged you or if it inspired you, go ahead and share that video to somebody you think might need some encouragement or some inspiration or some motivation. And let them know about some good communities that you might be involved in or involved with, that you can link up with and they can link up with. And be encouraged, man. Be encouraged. It's 2025. We still here. Be encouraged. The outside world may not be what we wanted to look like, but be encouraged. You're still here with able body, with breath in your body, and you're still alive for a reason. So continue to be a blessing. You feel me? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, so that way you can be notified anytime we drop a new video on the channel, which is every day. So stay locked in, stay tapped in with your boy, because it's FreeSoul to the show free. Let's get it.